no matter what.
Got it.
Hi, Shannon. Welcome back to my channel, 3 Degrees of Love Divination. I added divination to to the title since the last time that you've been on my channel. And I'm so excited that you're back. Of course, we're back, and your deck has actually been produced. And since it's come in, as I was telling you just prior to us starting this, I've been sitting on it since I had it since last year, waiting to do this video with you, and I couldn't be more excited that we're doing it not only in the month of love, which is technically our vibe because we both identify as love, right? Like that's what we are, and we, what's the word, resonate, like, and emanate outwards to outside of ourselves. So I'm super excited to go through the deck with you and to discuss how production was, how all that came to be, and what's new in your life now. So without further ado, I'm going to show you. This is the bag that I ended up putting your deck in. It's not the original bag that I, had shown on the last video that I had saved for it, but it's in here, and I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do, because, we're doing this sort of chat face on face, I'll do, more of a top down afterwards and sort of edit it into our video so that people can see exactly you know the deck that way. But I'm going to do my best to just show you in the meantime. So while I'm taking it out of its beloved packaging that I put it all together, what is new and exciting with you, and how was the production of this deck?
So the deck has landed, and it took a lot longer than I anticipated, which was hard for me as a Virgo. And plus, in my regular job, I have a promotional products company, which is very event driven. So I tend to be the kind of person that when I set a date, I stick to it personally and professionally. It's important in my industry for sure. So the thing that took the longest, which I didn't really expect, was that the editing. I had a really great friend who is not into anything woo-woo at all. She's actually an attorney and probably a proclaimed atheist. And she offered to edit it for me. And it was the best thing because she came in very fresh with no preconceived notions, but she also knows me and my voice. And she did an excellent job of editing it for me. So we got that done, and that was super helpful. But then going back and forth with my designer who helped take my kind of rough preliminary designs into, brought them into fruition. We just had to keep going back and forth and back and forth. The design parts in terms of the box and the cards took some time, but it was really the book that was a lot more time intensive. And I think because we were both perfectionists, or are perfectionists, it took longer than we anticipated. So, but I'm happy with the result. I knew that even though it took longer, it was going to be almost perfect. And I think it is. I'm very happy with it. And I did fund my deck through Kickstarter. So I was keeping my Kickstarter supporters updated throughout the whole process, and very apologetic that it took, I guess, a year and a half. And I thought it would take about 6 months, honestly. But I'll tell you, I learned a lot in the process about writing is kind of my bag anyway, but I learned some more things about writing, definitely learned more about editing and what that's involved. We learned a lot about templating these cards and the design process. So, I have a lot more ideas percolating, and I'm looking forward to doing more decks in the future. And I feel like this just first Upstart deck was very labor intensive, but it was a labor of love. And I'm grateful that it's done. And so I got it all out to everybody. And I fulfilled with my Kickstarter supporters first, and they had some additional benefits for being Kickstarters at several levels. And I'm so grateful to everybody out there who helped me get this off the ground. I appreciate their faith in me and faith in this project. And then after that, in the meantime, I mean, a lot of things were running consecutively, but the website development took a little bit longer as well. Everything seemed to take longer than I thought. So
And
got the
that's to
web.
be expected. That's life, right?
Yeah,
And I think you
exactly.
also had some personal things that were going on at the same time too. So,
Yeah.
that kind of got into, that
Yes.
got in the way of things. But again, that's life,
Yeah.
and we go with the flow, and still we do everything with love. So, and
And
it and
hopefully
it,
on
and it
divine
came
time,
out,
right?
and I couldn't be more proud and more excited and happy for you and for me to have this deck in my possession as I still try to open this
Yeah.
the way that I put it all together. But yeah, so what would you say is the most difficult thing that you had to endure through this project? Like, I mean, I know you talked about some of the things, but like, would you say there was something that was like the most difficult that you didn't expect that happened?
I would just say it was the editing just because it was so laborious and it's very detailed. And if you've ever written anything, even in school or whatever, and it's longer than a page, you know how you can look at it over and over and you don't catch a mistake. And then someone else will look at it, or you'll go back and look at it later and you're like, how did I miss that? So it was many cycles of that, rinse and repeat to get it right. And I hope that we caught all the mistakes. I'm not even sure. I think this is probably where AI in the future, something like that will come into play. But I really wrote this from my own voice. And, it helps, I guess, if you know me personally, I've realized as I've gotten some feedback on it. But I do think that I wanted to really double check, triple check, because I wanted to maintain my voice and not just have it go into some sort of editing software and have them correct everything, because there are certain things that aren't grammatically correct, but it's how I speak. It's sort of common vernacular and there's some humor in here. So I didn't want those parts corrected. So that's why it was so detail oriented. But I will say the experience in my industry, that for what I really do for real life work, helped because I have print experience, packaging experience, design experience. So that part was easy and really fun. It was just the technical aspects. And then the website, I had to learn, uh, I guess, the retail side a little bit more, because for what I do, normally it's more B2B and this is B2C. So I had to learn some new things, develop my own website in a different way. So, and, develop a retail site, because we are live now and we're based off of Shopify and selling on Etsy. So, that has been a learning piece too, because anything that's not in my regular wheelhouse in life is just, it's a learning curve. And a couple of these learning curves have been very steep. But as you know, you kind of get on the other side of everything that you went through. And you're like, okay, I learned a few things. I came out with a successful project. So I'll be ready to roll the next time, and hopefully more efficient and knowing what I'm doing more so than before.
Yeah, so I find some parts of it. So I assume that what you had sent me, some of it was part of the Kickstarter, because
Mhm.
I forgot that there was this little envelope thing here, and I believe it's like a glasses cleaner sort of cloth, and it's so cute. Like, I was just like, I was like, oh my god, look at it, it's so adorable. And a heart with the eye, like the idea, and even the pupil, I realize, is in the shape of a heart too. Like, it's like, and the way that I talk about love, and what that means. Like, it's I found that as I've been on this sort of, you know, heightened spiritual journey, that there aren't many people who really speak from that aspect of love and lead with that aspect of love. Like, you know, they say the highest frequency in life, right, is the vibration of love and unconditional love. And there's a few readers out there who do acknowledge that I do enjoy watching and stuff like that. But I still feel that even though they may resonate and say that, they don't lead like love is the driving force, right? Whereas I feel like you, for example, and me, we sort of like everything we do is all about that. And and it's that vibration, that love is everything. There's only, I think, one other person, creator, that I had come across, and I've shown their deck before, and that is oh my god, what's the name of that deck? All of a sudden of course I will put it up in editing, but it's one of my favorite decks, and for some reason, oh, why do this always happens? I always just draw a blank as to, right? But the whole idea is that that love is the driving force, right, to everything. Love is the answer, and everything, that how we respond is to do with love, right? And that's pretty much the entire deck. And so, yeah, so I love that this was an unexpected gift, so thank you very much. And of course, I'm a glasses wearer, so there's even perfect. But of course, I would never use it for that, because it. I want to keep it safe and protected,
And you
because
know what, I've realized I wasn't the intention when I included that, because I love having a nice screen cleaner, glass cleaner, and I thought that'd be a nice little add-on. But I realized it's big enough that you could lay it down on a table and actually lay the cards out on it, or some crystals. So there's more ways than you can use it, which I hadn't really thought until after it was
yeah, and
demonstrated.
that's exactly probably how I would use it, exactly as you had mentioned. So, and even the little foldy thingy, like
Yeah, it
it's
all
just,
ties in. Yeah, and I
yeah.
wanted
And then so I think there was something else in that came, and then of course I put it in this little heart bag that I had gotten from another creator that I found on Etsy, who makes bags. And I ended up with it for free from something. So I was like, when I realized I had it, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use it for this deck and put all my favorite fun stuff in it. So, and then you actually sent a rose quartz heart crystal as well. So, and that was another thing that I was just like, like, this woman is like, I've never met her in person, but she's like my long lost, like, spiritual sister.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we come from like the same, like, family or frequency or whatever, right? So, um,
And then
yeah,
also,
so
there's the meditation, which the link was sent out to Kickstarter supporters later. So you have to go in, and you guys have a special code that you download it for free, but it's also available on the website for $11.11. And it's just a beautiful love-centered meditation, and connecting with spirits, getting up into the galaxy. So I would recommend it for anybody. I spent a lot of time on it, and we really worked hard to get it produced beautifully last summer. So that's the other thing too, is I wanted everything to be excellent quality.
yeah, and I that, like, you blew me away with the concept. And then just even getting to meet you and stuff, like, that was another thing that I was just like, I absolutely, like, fell in love. Like, I'm just like, you did such an amazing job. And then here is the deck, as I finally have, fully unboxed it from the bag, and the protective system that I have it in. And the hearts and the coloring. So I, for some reason, I guess I imagined that this was going to be a smaller deck. So, you know, I was again blown away that um when I saw that the deck was actually pretty substantial, like oracle card size. So, you know, so I was like, this is really cool. So of course it's the two-piece box. You have the thumb hole cutouts, which is great, because I know that's a, you know, for a lot of people, you know, when it comes to opening the deck, you know, we want to have that thumb hole cutout in order to
Yeah.
be able to open it.
Yeah.
And then inside, like, we have, like, you have illustrations on the inside of the box, which is really cool. And of course it's just hearts all over the place. um and but you know, I, I'm happy with that. And so, you know, um and you even have, so this is the other thing that really resonated for me, because you quoted and have it in here, which is a, you know, a biblical scripture, but like, you know, and so for those who are not necessarily religious or whatever, but to me it defines exactly how I see love, and I think how you do as well, because you wouldn't have put it here if you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's basically my motto and how I look at things, and how, you know, and that goes, of course your version is slightly different because there's so many different interpretations, so many different written translations, if you will. But love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it is not proud, and it does not boast. Love does not dishonor others. It's not self seeking, and it holds no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Love always protects, it hopes, it trusts, and it always perseveres.
Mhm.
And that, to me, is it speaks volumes. You know, like, when I would say that when I was going through my spiritual ascension and awakening, if you will, to, you know, and breaking through my sort of my Christian, you know, upbringing that was very, I would say, very limiting. Like, it's what helped me break through, I would say, that glass ceiling, if you will, to know that there was more to what I was being taught. And, you know, even when I look at, you know, and dive into the different aspects of dogmatic religion, you know, and that sort of control base, it doesn't matter the denomination. It doesn't matter, because even in Christianity, there's so many different cut ups of the same one religion, you know. So, and that's really because people couldn't agree, right? And so everybody broke off and branched off, and here, there, and everywhere, you know. And we're so divided in this way. But when we really break it down, even scientifically, biology based, love is how creation, how we get what we are, what the world is. It's that aspect of love. And
Mhm.
so, you know, upon discovering that, because I remember, you know, growing up in my childhood, you know, being taught one thing in school, and, you know, okay, well, this is where babies come from, this is how we're made, and da, 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 and all the scientific aspects of it. But then going to church and then having, you know, them say, well, you know, God made, you know, Adam and Eve and this, that, and the next, and it's like, so thinking, so which is really the truth, you know?
Yeah.
And sort of flip-flopping. But
Mhm.
it's, as I, you know, upon this sort of, and of course this only happened because of tragedy, you know, like it was what occurred in my life that broke me down to
Mhm.
then build me up in this way. And that's when I was like, no, it's not one or the other. It's both. It's everything. It encompasses all.
Mhm.
And, and so, you know, finding and connecting with people who think exactly that same way, and who practice their life and everything they do that way, was very meaningful to me. And that's why you and this deck means so much to me. Now I remember the name of the deck that I was trying to remember before. It just came to me. What would love do?
Oh, I
And
don't think I've heard of that one.
created by the creators Star Layden. You can find her on Facebook. She does sell the deck on Etsy as well. And even so, as we're gonna go through this deck, your deck, I'm like, this would be like the perfect pairing, because the amount of colors too that you have throughout your deck, the as colorful as that deck is, I'm like, it's like a match made in heaven, or made in the vibration of love. So there you
Oh,
go, right? Like, I'm
to
just
get
like,
that
it's
deck. I
just
will have to
perfect.
get that deck. Well, and I was going to say too that I think, just to piggyback on what you're saying about love, if you ask anybody, no matter what they believe in, whether it's God, Buddha, Allah, nothing, or just simply what's the highest vibrational frequency, time and time again, the answer is love. So regardless of belief system, religious or otherwise, at the end of the day, we're all pointing up into that energy and vibration. And one of the reasons you pointed out the heart with the eye is that I wanted to bring, the third eye chakra into link it into the heart. So of course we see with our heart, but between these two spaces, I mean, everything matters, but that's a very powerful combination to see
Yeah,
with your through your heart.
absolutely. And and so to me, I was like, the idea that and then of course, so there's some stickers, and what I assume is your business card, because it's share the love, and it's got your information, and it's so cute.
That's
And then,
actually
like,
it's a coupon card, so you can give it to somebody else to get a discount off of their deck.
okay, well, that's yeah, for 11% off. So I love that. And then, even just like, like I said, the time, the care, the attention and to detail that you did, like, even fall in love and gratitude, like a postcard, and of course I folded it so I can fit it in with the deck, but even the message, behind it, like, I just, when creators take the time to do things like this, and the little details, it speaks to me, it speaks volumes. It shows your love and pride for your work too, right? And even what you're giving out, and so, these are the little things that really tickle, my heart space, and even activate my feelings, which I call them my piggies. When they get tickled happy. It's funny because ever since I started using that term and calling them my piggies, which was a combination of, some of the work I've been doing in therapy and things like that. And I'm really putting I guess being able to take your feelings and being able to see them externally from self, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not completely absorbed by my feelings, and that sort of way, you know ever since then. And I guess this is where, I guess, your phone really big brother is really listening to you, because ever since then I am flooded on Instagram with images and memes and little snippets of little piggies of all kinds, that and so I send them to some of my friends sometimes. I'm like, oh, one of my piggies just escaped and they've come to say hello.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, and this guidebook, oh my God, like it's thick.
Yeah. Now you
Like,
can see
so
why it took so
when
much
you
time.
talk about the editing and no kidding, like it's colored inside. So you have like the colored images of the cards. And the write-up is substantial. Like you have what, one, two, I would say three, wait, no, one, two, four, at least maybe four paragraphs per per card. So that's really cool.
And
Um,
I just want to say something on because there's been some confusion because I understand not everybody reads the intro to the book, but there's the upright reading, and then the way that I set it up, but of course anybody can do anything they want, is the love lesson is the reversal. But I've had people not understand that that's how it was intended and they read the whole section. But at the end of the day, part of the fun part about, playing with cards and reading energy is you get to do it the way that works for you. But I just wanted to point out to anyone that's listening and that purchases the deck that the love lesson was intended to be the reversed reading if you read reversals.
Good to know. So actually, technically, I don't, but depending on how the card um like when I say I don't, like I mean physically seeing the card, like because I'm again OCD, everything must be in order and sort of upright.
Yeah.
But if it comes out, if I'm shuffling and it comes out you know reversed,
Yeah.
I'll take that into account when I go to read it. And I personally, because I always love a good guidebook and I always talk about that. So I really will read both entries anyways. So yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot
so
of good
that's
nuggety information in that intro. And
yeah.
some suggested card pulls, one card, two card, Celtic cross, love. There's a bunch of different things. So if anyone's not familiar or they're more of a beginner, you can actually go through the book and there's some layouts, for example. Let me pull one
So
up.
do you have spread? Like I'm flipping
Yes,
through the book
yes.
now. I guess we can take
Yeah,
time to
after
kind
the
of go through
intro,
the
for
book.
example. Yeah. So here, for example, is a two-card reading, two different ways to do a two-card reading.
Yeah, and then you have a one card reading here at the beginning.
Three,
Yeah, I see the two
five.
card.
Yeah, and five like has two different themes, so you could take either one. And there's a
Yeah,
description. Five card relationship reading, day of the week reading, soul contract reading, which is good when we're talking about love. Not every soul contract, of course, is about love, but
yes.
Celtic cross. And then the last one is chakra reading. So if you want to see what the haps are with each of your chakras.
And that is amazing because actually there has been learning too about the different chakras and blockages and healing those different aspects. It's through the healing of those different aspects too that help to raise your vibration and bring you to the higher frequency where you are resonating at the top and can operate from that level, right? So so I really enjoy that actually. And
And
there's a
everything
number
can
of
be.
decks that are like spewing through my head that would match perfectly with that I'm besides what I already just said, the love is always the way, but even some tarot decks like there's the Modern Love Tarot by Ethony that I can see pairing beautifully with this deck too. um so I'm really excited to dive in with and be using it with these various different decks and see how it reads, and even reading with it even by itself. So yeah, and
Yeah,
if
and
there was
I did a reading you can find on my Facebook page or my Instagram page for 2024, and that was fun too. I did a card for each of the 12 months of the year and did a recorded reading around it. So that was fun. I mean, just like any cards, you can use them any way that you see fit. But the beautiful thing about love is that we'll heal ultimately anything, in my opinion. So I like
Yep.
that you said the word healing, and there's actually a card that's called Heal with Love. And then you were speaking about leadership with love, and there's a card called Lead with Love. And, when I had first researched this deck or just looked around the marketplace, I didn't feel like there was a deck that covered what I cover in this deck. So there's definitely a space for it.
Yeah, and I'm just actually looking more at the box, and I realize, so of course there's the message on the inside of the bottom of the box with the heart at the top. And then so we have, even you have the butterfly that sort of as it comes into pieces, it's all hearts. We have the eye with the hearts. And then on the sides, like, well, the tiny little hearts, which is actually where it fits perfectly, because when the box is closed, it just beautifully fits right into the thumb hole cutouts, which I think is really, really cute. And then the bottom part is the infinity symbol. And then you have here, breathe, gratitude, exhale, in love.
That
And
breathe
I think that's
in.
absolutely beautiful,
Mhm.
because even we know that, this is the infinity symbol, which is the idea of DNA, which is, that everything, life continues, right? This is the year of the self. This is our karmic year, 2024. When it adds up, adds up to the number 8. And
Exactly.
even, for those who know tarot, right, the 8, well, it's actually interchangeable depending on the tarot system, right? But it doubles from strength and justice. So, and you have 11
And the
on
opposite
the
is
box
11,
in
right?
certain things too. Sorry,
Yeah.
say that again.
The opposite or the other one is 11, which is powerful too, no matter how you
Yes.
break it down. But yeah, and it's breathe in love, exhale, gratitude. Do I have that right? Yeah. So it's actually from a
So
card.
okay, so it reads breathe in love, exhale. Okay. Yeah. Well,
So there's a card, that's the name of a card. So you can read more about that one too.
oh yeah. So okay, so this is, I have to take a breath because I'm really excited, and all
All
all of my
excitement is
feelings are
welcome.
just like,
Yeah. And the back of the cards have the heart, I heart too.
so this, okay, so yeah, so this is the back of the cards. Love is always the way. And it's the I, that, yeah, so I love that. So technically it's not reversible in that way, I guess, because
Yeah.
but that doesn't really, to me, that doesn't really matter. I know some people can be a stickler for those things, but
I know.
for me it doesn't matter. So, and then, okay, so I know I'm going from the backwards. Okay, you know what, I'll start from this side. So um the first card we have is abide in love, and that's beautiful. And we're starting off with, with home, as they say, is right. And that's where technically, if we're bringing, the idea of, that's where we come from, and when we pass, that's where we go back to, right? We're of the earth, so we come from the earth. That's love. We go right back to it, right? That's how we're connected. That's how everything is connected.
Yeah.
So, that I think is a beautiful representation right there to start this deck off. Like, thank you.
And I think too, another meaning of that card for me is we are the vessel, abide in love within ourself.
Yes,
This is,
exactly,
yeah, this is,
exactly. Yes, absolutely. And then we have act with love. I love that. And and then love, be a love warrior. Now this card resonates very heavily with me because maybe, was it last year sometime, there was a reader on YouTube who I got a reading from, and another thing that sort of was like a confirmation is that she saw in my, I guess, my history, past or whatever, that I'm a love warrior. So that,
That's
so
your card.
seeing
Yeah.
this is like, well, this is my badge of honor, if you will. This card is my badge of honor, and really speaks to that. And so,
Well, and also with the
so
swords, the suit of swords with truth and communication ties in that way as well.
exactly. And then, okay, so here's the card that you were talking about, with the infinity symbol, and is the actual card. So breathe in love, exhale gratitude. Yes. So yeah, so this is absolutely beautiful. And of course, okay, what are you doing, Elena? Stop it.
Are they
Now it's
sticking?
not in order.
Yeah, they when you first get them, they come alphabetical and then
Yes. Anyways, and I'm gonna shovel them anyway. So what do I care? Center in love. Choose love as opposed to heartbreak, right? And
or
and
in
and
any
even
way.
after heartbreak,
Mhm.
learning how to still choose love.
Yeah. Or any action. If love is the highest vibration, choose the love door, not the other one,
Yeah, exactly.
because you will walk through.
Yeah. Create with love.
Mhm.
What what was it like for you creating this deck, and how would you say you came up with even all of these card images and even the sayings on them?
Yeah, I'm a huge list maker and note taker. So when I first came up with the 56 cards in the deck, I had a much longer list. I mean, maybe someday I'll do another one. And then I whittled it down and printed it out. And just by process of elimination, I picked the 56 I thought were best and not too repetitive. And then I like to write actually with a pen and paper. And so I just had a notebook next to me all the time at that stage of creation because things were coming to me constantly. And I would take notes or scribble pictures, and the cool thing is I could send those really rough scribbles or drawings to my designer who helped me do the deck. And she would take my vision, knowing what I was trying to create, and take my, you know, little pictures and make them into beautiful pieces of art. And then we just went back and forth, which took months until everything was completely refined and looked the way we both felt that they should.
Yeah, I really like this one. Do what you love, but it's represented by a mountain, because and to me, how I see that is that things that are worth, um that we hold near and dear, and that is worth our efforts, doesn't always come easily,
Hmm.
right? We have to, it's something that we have to work for, we have to work at,
Yeah.
and maybe fail several times before we even get there. So the fact that it's represented by a mountain is is perfect.
Yeah.
I think it really encompasses that whole idea. And then we were talking about the chakras, right? So embodying love, and love being in every aspect of our being, right?
Hmm.
um exactly. Everything and everyone is love. Absolutely. Yep. We evolve through love.
Hmm.
Faith, hope, love. Like, this is like, I don't want to spend forever just going through all the cards, because like I said, I want to, I'll do like a flip through sort of thing, top down. But Actually, I kind of want to give this deck a shuffle, and I want to pick a card.
Okay.
And then actually, if maybe you want to do the same thing, and then we'll see what we get.
Sure.
Move you guys out of the way. And the cardstock is wonderful. It's very, very, like, I feel like it's very luxurious. It's
Mhm.
matte. It's a matte cardstock, and it is oracle size, like a
Yeah,
typical oracle size, um, and even the edging, which is a matte. What color would you say the edge is? Red?
it's red. So if anyone's in design or art or graphics, it's a PMS 187, which is the same. It matches this red. So that was something really special. I didn't want to miss any design space. That's why you see all these details. And I wanted the red to match. I looked at a lot of the decks that I have and figured out what I've appreciated about those decks. And sometimes I get decks that are nice on the outside and then it's just a blank box on the inside, and it's such a missed opportunity to really utilize all the space, with information, quotes, art, whatever. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I wanted a matte stock, but something that moved because I don't like sticky. And actually, my hands are not that big, but these are comfortable enough for me to shuffle.
Yeah,
So,
I have small but mighty hands too. So
oh, maybe there
uh,
you go.
I it's weird because even if the depending on the deck, even though it may be sometimes big, if the cardstock is flexible enough, I can still stretch enough to my hand, my fingers around it so that I can shuffle it like a normally. But even to and I'm a riffle and bridge shuffler. So and this is just beautiful the way that it like I can cut it, and yeah, like just the way it sounds. I love that sound. I
Yes.
love that sound. Okay, hold on. One more time. Okay, so let me cut, and then let's see. All right. So I'm gonna shuffle and see what card comes out.
Yeah. Why don't you draw first and then I'll pull one after.
Sure.
We'll see how they go together.
So what comes out? If one doesn't drop now, then I'm just gonna pull one. Because okay, there we go. Deep love.
Okay.
I am in deep love with this deck.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
No way. Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Deep, deep that yeah, like this.
Wow. That's really powerful that we just drew this. I shuffle my deck 11 times. My little process is I
Yeah,
always, when I pick a deck up for the first time, after I've saged it in the first time I've received it and bonded it to myself, every time I use it, I shuffle 11 times. So I shuffled 11 times. And then as you were talking, I kept shuffling and shuffling. And then I waited until you pulled yours.
deep love. I yeah. And it was like because like it was like the universe heard me because I said it, because I didn't want for it to be as too long, and like because sometimes it doesn't. I wait for my cards to like pop out themselves,
Yeah.
and so and I don't like having to pick like to draw if none falls out. So right when I said that, then sure enough, that was the card that flipped over. Okay, so I want to read the the message for that one in the guidebook here. Is the guidebook is in alpha order?
Yeah, that's on page 52.
Okay. All right, there we go. So deep love. Love is sub
Subsequently.
subsequently, thank you. Deep love. Love is subsequently the highest and deepest vibration in the universe. Yeah. From the core of Mama Gaia on up to the infinite galaxies, love knows the way. You are tuned in to the deep signature of your soul and the love it holds. The depth of love for yourself, everyone, and everything is grounding you from a space of strength and beauty. The moon's light illuminates your intuition and turns up the volume on the messages from and in the direction of the abundant universe. Keep up the good work and shine, baby, shine. Get those
Shine, baby,
love
shine.
glasses on. And go higher and deeper still. The journey is boundless and always stokes your internal fire. Make it a double with deep love while you center in love, and you will feel so full that your cup will overflow with good love, juju, everywhere you go. Love is always the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I will say too,
Absolutely.
I don't know if people can see this, but I have highlighted that one thing that's different about what I did is I incorporated other cards. So if you wanted to keep doing a deep dive based on this card, you can go down the rabbit hole. So every time another card is mentioned, it's bolded.
Yes, I see that.
So you can go to that just to cross-reference. So that took a lot of time and work too to tie in.
Well,
So that
yeah, most definitely.
yeah.
It's almost like sort of puzzle, intricate sort of system in and of itself, if you will.
Mhm.
And so I really like that. Like anybody that can do that and like the brain function and power to be able to think of something like that, to come up with it's mind blowing. So, like this is just amazing. There's another book sort of thing. So I growing up, I loved and I know I'm not finished reading the entry, but there was, so I don't know if you remember, like one of my childhood favorite things, I always loved interactive books and things like that. And one of my favorite childhood story was The Jolly Postman. I don't know if you know about that. Okay. And so the idea of that book was, okay, so you have this postman and he delivered mails to like all like these different characters like Cinderella and the three bears and stuff like that, and Goldilocks and whatnot. And interactive in the point where you can actually open the mail and see what it is that they get and read and whatever.
Cool.
Fast forwarding, the years, to more adult stuff. There's Nick Bantock, who has also created a couple of decks. The Arco, I think it's the Arco, I don't remember the name of the deck, but it's Arco something, and it's an archetype type of deck. And he illustrated that, and his series of books is a correspondence, a love correspondence between two people, and it comes, I think there's 6 books in the series, and it follows this couple, Griffin and Sabine. And so so there's also that too. And then more recently, combined with a combination of playing cards, there was this, I think last year, um their campaign called Eye of the Ocean. And the idea with the cards was, it came with a novel, and within the novel there are clues and how to rearrange the puzzle of the cards
Oh,
in
interesting.
in
Yeah.
some order. And volume 2 of that is coming out this March, so is going to be launching on Kickstarter this March, by Stockholm 17. That's the creator who makes all these playing cards and stuff like that. Yeah, so that kind of like what you're saying there sort of reminds me of that kind of aspect, that extra um aspect, that detail, that extra little detail that is embedded within what you're reading. So I really love that. And then, okay, so then we have the love lesson. You are living your life on the surface, Starlight, and it's not serving the true depth of your soul, whether it's in your relationship, your work, or your simple day-to-day movements. You are disconnected from source. Take some time to, oh, sorry, take some time in quiet meditation, breathe in love, breathe in love, and exhale gratitude. Run divine energy through all of your chakras, anchoring in from the root of the earth and reaching up high into the universe to connect with the pulsing deep love that surrounds you from every sparkly angle. The moon's light will help you by shining the light of truth and revealing intuitive guidance. Go big, dive deep. The treasures within are there to behold. Remember, you are the universe. The universe is you, and everything is an inside job. Love is always the way. That is so beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
And
Thank
and you, um, yeah, I couldn't be more proud and honored to have this in my possession, to be able to use it and work with it. And I like it's yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites, my favorite decks. And there are many, but yeah, but it's definitely one of the top, I would have to say. Um, it's like an affirmation, but it's also not just an affirmation deck. Like I like how do I describe what I'm trying to say? Um, it's
I think it can really,
action oriented too.
yeah, exactly. And it can take you into deeper love, even just by interacting with the deck, right?
Yes.
If love is vibration in the universe and beyond, then this is the line of communication and the way, the
Yeah.
healing, the way to be and act, to lead. So many of these cards abide, all the things that are covered in this deck. What I liked about it is that it can apply to any part of life. Like, it's not just for love, meaning love relationships. You can use this in work relationship, work issues, home. I mean, you name it. I feel like love applies.
Everything. Any interaction you have with another being, or even, you know, like, yeah, any relationship you have with, and any interaction you have with loved ones, strangers on the street, it doesn't matter. It, to me, it encompasses all of it.
Yeah.
And even the decks that I mentioned before, excuse me, that I would pair with it, I think sort of do that too. Like, even, and that's why I would say, because of how detailed your book is too, why I would think it would be a very good match with Ethony's Modern Love Tarot deck, because her deck is divided up too into sections that way as well, depending on what um area, because she doesn't just talk about, romantic relationships. She is talking, about different aspects, and there is a like a reverse meaning, and and then love of self, like even the interaction we have with ourselves,
Yes.
it's,
And
we can't
really
forget
anything. I mean,
ourselves. Like,
I think animals, we have two dogs, but animals, life, the universe, the flowers, the trees, everything is an energetic interaction that we have.
yes.
So just I guess part of the reason I chose this for the cover of the box this is the put your love glasses on card, is that I believe that when you can look at everything through the filter and vision of love, it changes everything. And
It
it's the
does.
way to look out and look in. But that's why I say put your love glasses on, because when you put your love glasses on, you see things differently.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's funny because I made this joke about anybody who wears glasses, and I was like, like it's like an automatic thing because it's like the 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 weaker your eyesight, the more reflective you are on the inside. So you
I
can't
love,
see as well that way, so you can see better.
yeah, exactly.
Right. And then there's also the running joke that I saw on Instagram through a meme, and it's like they say be nice to people who wear glasses because they paid a lot of money so they can see you.
Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that one.
Right, because glasses aren't cheap, right? So
It's an
so you
investment.
should feel honored and privileged
Yeah.
that you are being seen by
Yes. Just
someone
tell them
who
you've
wears glasses.
invested in them. You've invested in them to see them.
Exactly, right? So that, yeah, so be kind to people who wear glasses because they paid a lot of money just to be
I,
able to see you.
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so you did such an incredible job with this deck. I want to know, I mean, I'm curious because, what are your future plans? Is there going to be more that you're going to be doing with the deck? And, or are you going to be creating like a companion? Like, do you have any plans yet? Do you even know?
Yeah. I have so many ideas and I have some specific things that I want to do. One thing is tarot deck to go with this. The Love is Always the Way tarot deck. That's going to just be a longer process because writing a tarot book through lens, like taking, the traditional versions and interpreting it in a way that I want to look at it through the lens of love is going to take a lot more time. So that's something that I may start in the second half of this year. And part of the reason, as I told you, is I am getting married to this wonderful man right here.
Yes,
So
yes, and congratulations. I couldn't be, any better of a beautiful like ending to even just like encompassing the whole aspect of this deck. Like, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
there's one card in here. I don't know if it'll come up quickly, but it's called Fall in Love, which I am in love, and I found my wonderful life partner, twin soul partner. But anyway, so yeah, that I just told myself I couldn't do anything between January and June. I just have to not even try because I've got too many things. My father passed away at the end of last year, which is another reason that this deck took a long time because he had a stroke 2 years ago. So that was part of the reason, in addition to just it being such a steep learning curve, is that my father had some major medical concerns. And because my mom and my brother have already passed, it was just me with David's help. So he finally transitioned in October. So there's just been a lot to deal with, and there still is. And so I said to myself, kind of closing some of that out. I've just been in some grief space and getting married at the same time. So a lot of very different feelings and emotions, a lot of different piggies. So
Yeah.
I said to myself, I'm not going to embark on any creative projects until after the wedding in June. So that's happening. And then, but I am working on the website. I still had to get help tinkering with that and fine tuning that because that again is a steep learning curve for me, all the technical aspects. Because again, I'm kind of a perfectionist in that I want it to be really sharp and functional. So the thing that I'm working on right now is getting that set up for wholesalers so that if anybody wants to go in and register for a wholesale account with approval, then they will be able to purchase the deck online through the website. And then also, I don't know if this will happen before June, but I want to, get out even locally where I live in California and try to get these into some shops. I got them into my first shop in Hawaii 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
called,
yay!
yeah, so that was
Congratulations.
exciting. Yeah, so it's just little by little, drip, drip, drip. And it, of course, takes longer. Plus, having a full regular life. This is my pet passion project, which I hope will take off to a whole nother level. But right now, it's still kind of in the incubator, just starting to grow stage. And I don't know, would like to do some more speaking. I love doing interviews and having conversations like we're having and talking about things. But the one thing I did commit to this year is that I did that 12-month reading in, I guess it was at the end of December, starting for January of 2024. So I did a card a month with a little description on the video, and then I wrote that up. So I've committed to reposting the card of the month each month and some quotes that tie into the theme. So I did that in January and February, and then I guess in a few days we'll have the the March one up. AC
Uh,
season. I know, it's
are
like
you? The year already goes by fast enough.
I know exactly. So I have made some, now that the truth is that now that my dad's gone, I do have more mental and space and time availability. So I didn't want to overload myself, but I did want to start to have a little bit more structure and follow through because there were some gaps like in my social media and some communication and just different things because I had to really focus on my personal and family life at that time. But that
Yeah,
is that has shifted. So we're kind of into a new era, and I'm definitely ready to work, but not until
yeah.
December.
And my condolences, to you for, and I guess in a way we sort of reflect that thing, because it's sort of the same idea with me, except my dad is still here, but he continues to demise mentally, and so dealing with that, is somewhat difficult, and even more recently there has been some things that have come up, where with his mental health that, I before we started recording, I was sharing with you and things like that. And I so yeah, I totally get it. And but even still, the strength, the love, the determination, it that I've seen from you is so inspiring. And you are a decade my senior, and so you emanating to me everything that I feel that I am. It's so beautiful to see, because I feel like I have someone that I can look up to, and and I can ultimately learn from, and still feel like me.
Mhm.
So I really love that. And just meeting you has been one of my absolute joys. And I will forever treasure that, as your deck, and just everything, like I said, you encompass. I feel it wholeheartedly, and I absolutely love that. And it speaks volumes. So and
Well,
just
and let me just say to you, I'm so grateful for your friendship as well. And as I said before we started, I'm glad we're glowing up together through this process. But you are amazing at sending so much love and messages, even at times that I wasn't able to respond. And that meant so much to me when I was going through those hard times over the last year. So thank you to you. I feel your love, and we all have something to help each other with and teach each other. So, yeah, I'm glad that we have connected and we will continue to go onward and upward together, right? In love.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, love did that.
Yeah,
Love did that. So
that.
so yeah, I'm so grateful to that. And of course I will have everything, your social media and everything, linked down below, because also, one of the things that I think is really incredible is the way that you put together your posts on Instagram. Like
Oh,
how you do it is you know, it's absolutely beautiful. It's definitely one of my favorites. And whenever you post, I definitely look forward to it. So,
Thank you.
thank you to you for that. And I hope that um so many, get to see this video and enjoy it, and will not only follow you, but will resonate and migrate to this deck, because I think it is absolutely beautifully done. And everything that everything you put into this deck is just, it's gorgeous, and it's very meaningful, and it speaks with the purest love. So, and I know that's what you wanted it to
Yeah,
do,
mission
right? So
accomplished, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then some. So, and even in spite of everything and all the hiccups, you did such an incredible job. And I couldn't be more proud. So, and I there was one thing I wanted to say just before, end this. I realized too, this, us talking like this couldn't come at a better time, because as this is the 24th year, but we just finished receiving on the 24th, the full moon in Virgo, and we're
Yes.
both Virgos.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
may
Yes.
our
Yes.
cups overflow
Yes.
in
With
love.
deep love, right? With deep love.
Yes, absolutely. you know
Well,
um
thank you so much for taking the time to share my deck with your audience and friends. I really appreciate it.
I thank you for, lending your time, and, to be able to do this video. Thank you for this amazing deck that you've created and that you gifted me with. I couldn't, I treasure this with everything I have. And, and then, with that being said, as we wrap up this video, I want, as you are love and I am love, so is everyone else.
Mhm.
And so I hope that as we take care of ourselves, we'll take care of each other, and don't forget to live, listen, and learn.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes. So thank you so, so much.
You're welcome,
Take
darling.
care. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love one another. Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love one another. Gotta love, gotta love, gotta love one another. No matter what people want.